Hey, everyone. Welcome to session number 12 of this in-depth Q&A session here at Repurpose.io. I'm Yang Pratt, host of the Amplify Your Awesome podcast. And of course, I'm here as ever with the amazing Hanny Mora. And we're going to talk about some really cool integrations and some ideas you can use to repurpose your content. Hey, Hanny.
Hello. How's it going?
I'm doing good, hanging in there, having some fun with the kids at home. I'm really enjoying that bit of this time.
Yeah, it's an interesting time for sure. Yeah, it's been crazy, but it's been good for us here at Repurpose. We've just been cranking out, put heads down, and just focusing on adding more and more integrations. To be honest, and that's why we're here. We're talking about kind of the latest integration that's gonna roll out any day, any week now. I don't have a date. We've done our part. We're waiting for Zoom to approve it. So we're very excited. I know a lot of people are excited, and that's what we want to kind of cover here today. Is just give some tips, a little sneak peek about how the integration works, and then talk about some cool stuff. But with some cool stuff Zoom's up to, some transcription stuff. We'll just kind of geek out on how to do even more automation with Repurpose and even beyond Repurpose as well.
Awesome. That's the best part of each of these monthly sessions is that we get to kind of, like you said, we get to geek out and we get to dive into some really nerdy things. And I know I love that. You love that. The people who are using your software love that. And it makes for a really good discussion because it's just, especially during this time when we have more, we're at home, we're doing things a little bit differently. There's definitely more time to start thinking about ways to really maximize the content we're already creating. And I know this latest integration is something that I've been waiting for because I use this tool and people in the group have been going crazy for this integration with Zoom. So let's start there. Let's dive in and can you give us some behind the scenes on that integration?
Yeah, for sure. Basically, the idea is in the past, we were able to repurpose from Facebook repurpose videos from Facebook, ability to repurpose from a Dropbox folder from a Google Drive. Now you'll have the option to repurpose from Zoom. So it's very similar. You connect your Zoom account. I'm going to give a quick demo. Why don't I just jump right into it? I'll show you on our test site what it looks like and how to connect it. But the idea is that you can add Zoom as an input, and then you can make a bunch of workflows. I do want to clarify one thing just to make sure people are not confused. In order for this to work, you need to have a pro account.
Okay.
Unfortunately, fortunately or unfortunately, Zoom's a great product. It's worth it. It's very inexpensive, but you need to have the pro account and you need to enable the cloud recording option. So everything that we do will work off the cloud recording option. And let me just quickly share my screen and show you where that is, because it's sometimes buried in the settings, and I don't think it's even on by default. So before I do that, I want to make sure I'm sharing my screen before I start talking about all of the good stuff. So before I dive in, just a quick reminder, this is not available now. What I'm showing you is on our test site. We are just waiting. We're in communications with Zoom. We're waiting for them to give us the final approval. We're going back and forth, meeting all the requirements. So just hang in there. We'll make an announcement on how this all works. And I think there's a great question here we might as well cover right now. Pro account for both Repurpose and Zoom. That is a fantastic question. I'm going to get rid of this share screen for a second because it's kind of distracting. All right, so for Zoom, you need to be on Pro, which means I forget the exact pricing. It's not expensive. And it's basically, you have to have a Pro account on Zoom, number one. If you want to use the Zoom integration on Repurpose, you need to be on the content marketer plan. So if you're on a podcaster plan, it won't work because it is a video input. So we're starting with the Zoom video and going to other platforms. So you need to be on the content marketer plan. So that's a fantastic question. So both Zoom needs to be on their Pro and Repurpose needs to be, if you're on trial, of course it works. If you are on the podcaster plan, it will not work, and the content marketer plan is what you need to use this integration once it's ready. So again, it's not ready this second. It will be ready any day now. So share screen. I'm going to drop this back in here, and
And Hanny, I did just check on Zoom, and the pricing looks like for the Pro plan, it's $14.99 a month.
Okay, perfect. That's
Yeah,
not bad. That's not bad at all. It's a great
not at
tool.
all. It's a great tool.
It's a great tool. And then okay, so this is my Zoom account. I'm logged into my Zoom account. And here's, just wanted to make sure this is clear. You need to enable the cloud recording. And that's important because if you don't do cloud recordings, then we can't repurpose automatically from Repurpose. So turn that on. And then we recommend you turn on the gallery view with shared screen option. There's a bunch of different options. You can play around with it, which one you want. But in our opinion, this gallery view with shared screen option is the best, which shows people side by side and the share screen. That's going to be recorded on your cloud, and then Repurpose will take that and repurpose it. So how does it work with Repurpose? I'll show you really quick. It's really simple, just like any other connection that we have. I might have already added it here. So I'm just gonna, before I get started, let me just delete my account. I'm just gonna delete this connection here and just add it from scratch. So you see the whole process, super easy. So we go to the connections page, just like any other connection, and you should see Zoom. Again, now, and you won't see Zoom, it will say Zoom coming soon. You will see it, but it says coming soon. So don't click it because it's not gonna work. But they forced us to put it on there so they can do their full evaluation and give us the approval. It's gonna be approved any week now, hopefully less than that. But there will be an announcement. You'll get an email, don't worry about it. You'll know exactly when it's ready. Choose Zoom as the input and add connection. It's gonna pop up. It's gonna just remind you, hey, you need to have a cloud paid Zoom plan with cloud recording. If you're not sure, you can click here. You can check your account if you're on paid or free, and give it a connection name, whatever, Hanny Zoom, and say connect. It's gonna pop up, ask you to log in, because I've already done it. It's all good. It's logged in, success, done. And that's it. So that's the connection part, just like any other connection. Now you can go and say create a repurpose workflow. So just like before, you could do anything that you can currently do with a Facebook video, with a video from your Dropbox, video from your Google Drive. You can do everything, but you can start with Zoom. So let me just do a quick demo, then I'll re-show you that screenshot that we have of all the different things you can do. But in general, you would make one workflow. For example, let's say I'm going to YouTube. I'm going to choose Zoom as my input. So you'll see Zoom there once you've added that connection. You'll choose your Zoom account. It's there by default. And you have the option to upload the video, just like everything else. You can do full video or snippets. Also, if you're doing another if you want to turn Zooms into podcasts, you can also convert the video into audio as well. So you do have that option. But since we're going to YouTube, I'm going to just choose upload video. Full video, that's fine. You can do snippets. Either way is fine. And I'm just going to send it to YouTube. That's it. It's. I know it doesn't look exciting. That's it. But it's as simple as that. As soon as you create the workflow, you go into your settings, your view, you're going to see all your meetings. We go back as far as 2 years. So if you have cloud recordings you've done in the past 2 years, you should see them all here. And you can do everything that you can do with regular videos. You can, upload it with the original video style. You can convert into a vertical video. You can convert into a square. The interesting thing is, which we'll talk a little bit more on in a few minutes, which is to make these caption videos that we've been doing with Facebook. You do have some abilities there, but you need to provide it with the captions file. So for example, if I say, hey, I want to make this into a vertical video and hit publish, I'll have the options to upload my captions file. So it's not automatic. Like those who are familiar with the Facebook integration, we can grab the Facebook transcriptions automatically because Facebook has that feature to do transcriptions. Zoom doesn't store your transcriptions on your Pro plan. I think it does on the enterprise level. We haven't integrated that. So if you want to do the caption videos from Zoom, you will need to generate a captions file. And we're going to talk a little bit about that and some tools that you can do that in an automated way in a few minutes right here on this live. So you grab the file, upload it, Or if you don't care about captions, don't worry about it. You can just put some static text here and hit publish or schedule if you want to use our scheduler. And
So good. I know
that's
so
it.
many people have hopped onto Zoom recently, and
Mm-hmm.
the biggest challenge was the downloading video, uploading it somewhere else. So now with this integration, I'm so excited that I can stop moving video around because internet has been super wonky lately. So for me personally, I am so excited, and it is super exciting. You said it wasn't very exciting, but really, I think a lot of people here are
Mm-hmm.
already using Zoom. So now the ability to take that Zoom interview and put it over on your podcast as an audio, put it over on YouTube as a video, take those snippets and put it across social media.
Mm-hmm.
That's a really, really awesome integration. So thank you, first of all, for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I didn't. I mean, I'm terrible at marketing. Put it this way, I'm gonna say, yeah, that's it. But what I really meant to say is, it's as simple as that. That's it. It's as simple as
Yep,
that. You
right.
click here, and you can do everything that you can do with Facebook. Let me share my screen real quick. I have that document open here. Everything you can do with any video you've been able to do with Repurpose so far, now you can do it with directly from a Zoom recording. So let me just share my
So
screen.
good.
And basically this thing here, I'm sure everyone's seen this by now. I've showed it a million gazillion times, but I'll walk through it really quick. You can't go to WordPress, at least not yet, but you can take a Zoom video, convert it to an audio, turn it into a podcast, send that to your podcast platform like Libsyn or to your Dropbox folder. You can take a video, go to YouTube, go to Facebook. You can convert it into vertical videos. You can convert it to square videos, directly publish to Twitter, to LinkedIn. And then if you want to go to Instagram, you have the option to make these cool vertical videos and send them to your Dropbox and then upload those to Instagram yourself, because we don't have a direct integration there. But all this capability does not change. This video can be a Facebook video. This could be now soon a Zoom video from your cloud recording. So you no need to download it. You don't need to save it on your computer. You can just record it in the cloud. There's an option in Zoom called Record in the Cloud, and then you can have Repurpose do its magic. And just like before, everything can be set to manual or auto or schedule. So when I can go in and just publish the ones that I want or schedule the ones that I want. I can pick it to go out on a certain date. So you can do that as well with the Zoom recordings. So meaning I can send the Zoom recording to YouTube on, let's say, Monday, and then I can schedule the one to Facebook on Tuesday. So you can stagger your content across the different platforms. Or you can go on auto, which will do the same thing as it does before, which means every time, it'll do two things. It'll take every single video you have on here and send that off to whatever platform, in this case to YouTube. And next time you do a video on Zoom, you do the cloud recording, you can have it automatically sent out to different platforms if you want to. So you do have that option to go from manual to auto as well when you start with Zoom.
So good. I'm chomping at the bit over here waiting for this one because it's going to be such a game changer. Because again, right now, as so many people are hopping onto Zoom and having a lot of meetings, and being able to automate this process so everyone can watch it where they need to watch it, get the information out quickly and easily, it's really a game changer. So I'm super excited. At the beginning of the call, Hannah, you had said that we're going to talk about some other things we can do with our content. And one of those things is the transcription. I know that's something that we've talked about a lot. What are your recommended tools to then take the Zoom video, get that transcription file so we can put it in different places? Because the one over on Facebook is not always the easiest one to use. I will admit that for sure.
Absolutely. So yes. So, when we did this integration a few years ago with the Facebook captioning service, we use Facebook service. It's great because it's free. When it works, it's great. Sometimes it's flaky. I've had people complain that sometimes it doesn't recognize my accent. Sometimes it just doesn't work. So I've been, looking to see how else can we automate this. But to be fully automated, still my go-to workflow would be to get the video onto Facebook and use their automatic transcription. That's still, to me, the easiest when it works. But some people are getting frustrated. So I came up with a few different ideas. It's more like I did a little like just information dump onto a Google Sheet. I'm going to share that right now and just kind of talk about ways you can do this, a little more semi-automated with other tools. And I'm going to focus on a tool called Otter. Otter is great. They used to have an amazing free plan. I think I heard recently that it's no longer free, or it's like a free trial kind of thing, or it's very limited, which is unfortunate. But at the same time, their service is great, their accuracy is great, their interface is great, and they have some interesting integrations that I'm going to share with you right now on how to automate. So if you want to try out Otter and get a month free, you can use repurpose.io/Otter. It'll get you to like 1 month premium service for free. Check it out. I paid for the whole year. It was under $100, I think, for the whole year, and you get thousands of minutes a month, which is phenomenal. Like, it's great. All right. So let's talk about transcriptions. So everything I'm talking about here is not necessarily a direct integration with Repurpose, but I'm going to share with you a couple of ideas that I've been just kind of brainstorming and maybe get your wheels turning to see if this fits into your workflow. So I'm going to share my screen and show this. How do I make this look a little nicer? There. That better? Can you still see my screen?
Looks great.
All right, cool. So everything I'm going to talk about now will, again, require a Zoom Pro account, just because you can't do any cloud recording without the Zoom Pro. And then you need an Otter account, also like a paid Otter account. Otter is a transcription service that's probably, in my opinion, one of the best out there. It's automated, but it also allows you to fix transcriptions. So if you want to try it for free, you can send their free trial, or if you want to get a month free, you can use our Repurpose link over here, repurpose.io/Otter. You get a month free of their premium service. And so if you want to transcribe your podcast, you're okay with the podcast plan. If you're going to transcribe podcasts and videos, you need to be on the Repurpose Content Marketer plan. So it's just a little prerequisite here, just things to keep in mind as I dive into the next slide. So, okay. So scenario one, like this is just one cool way. And I'm going to show you how to set this up inside your Zoom account. So if I can remember how to do it, I did it a while ago. Okay, the first option, you want to basically do a Zoom recording and you want it to get transcribed automatically. Right? So to do that, this is the high level flow. It's not very pretty. Again, I just put this together just get my thoughts down. But I will walk through the steps. So you go Zoom, you do your recording to the cloud, the Zoom cloud recording. You can have it automatically sent to Otter, or I guess Otter will automatically check your Zoom and automatically transcribe. Then you have the option inside Otter to fix it if you want to. Probably recommend it if you're going to put this like on a website or a blog, etc. But you don't have to. It's pretty decent, so it's totally up to you. And then you can export it as a text document, like a transcript file, or you can export it as an SRT, which is an SRT is the standard format for, I forget what it stands for, but it's the captions that Repurpose can use to burn into your video. You've seen some of the videos out there where we have the captions burnt in on the bottom. You just generate an SRT from Otter, and then you can upload that to Repurpose, and we will make that video for you. So that is the integration. So just to recap, you record on Zoom, cloud recordings. Otter will pick it up automatically when you're done, start transcribing it, and it's be waiting for you inside your Otter account. So I'm going to show that really quick, kind of how to set that up inside both your Otter and your Zoom account. I think it's an Otter. Again, you have to bear with me because I did this a while back. Okay, so this is inside my Otter account. And you need to go into, there is an integration section. I have to bear with me here. Account settings, I think. No, apps. Yeah, account setting apps. And then go on the bottom. Oh, what happened there? That's not right. I lost my window. Sorry about that. Nope, that's not the window that I was looking at. There we go. So on the bottom here, you have the option to connect your Zoom. So I'm inside my Otter, I connect Zoom, I hit connect, and it pops up, it authenticates, asks you for your Zoom credentials, you log in, boom, you're good to go. So that's it. And then every time you go live, I keep saying go live, every time you do a recording on Zoom, it's going to show up in my conversations automatically. So here, for example, you'll see back in April, I did a recording, the transcription, I'm not sure exactly how long it takes, but you don't have to do anything. You don't have to send the file to Otter. It just shows up in here. It starts the transcriptions automatically for you. And of course, you have the ability to edit and fix up the transcription. Okay, so that's one kind of automation you can do. And then after you're done, you have two options. You can export to text. Sorry, you export the text, which is a transcript, and then you have the option to export the SRT file, which if you're planning on doing the caption videos, you need to export the SRT file, and you can export it in just text format. And there's some settings here. You can turn off like names, you can turn off timestamps. There's some like formatting stuff you can play around with. So if you want to put it, let's say, on a blog post, you can export it as text. If you want to do like some kind of PDF, like a downloadable PDF for your guests, you can do that as well. So anything like human readable text, you would actually choose the text option. If you want to burn it into a video using Repurpose, you would export the SRT option, or you can do both. And then once you have that SRT, you can do whatever you want with it, of course, like put it on your blog, etc. But if you want to burn it into the video back in Repurpose, when you hit publish here, you can choose upload a captions file, and you would choose that SRT file that we've done. I felt like I went really fast, but I'll recap again. Zoom recording in the cloud, Otter picks it up automatically. You log into your Otter account to fix things up if you want to. Export it as SRT if you want to go to Repurpose. And I guess it's an and. Export the text version if you want to add it to your blog. And then the last step, which is optional again, if you want to do a burnt in video with the captions burnt in, then you can have the SRT file uploaded to Repurpose for that Zoom recording and rock and roll. It makes that cool video for you with the captions burnt into the bottom.
Awesome. So in this scenario, I just want to clarify for my own sake and for everyone else's, we want to keep our workflow then on manual, right? So we have time to go fix our transcript and then upload it and then publish it when we're ready, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So I'd have to be on manual if you want the captions burnt into your video on Repurpose, because this step is manual here. You'd have to upload, you'd have to click publish, and inside of Repurpose, you'd have to click publish and then manually upload the caption file for that episode.
Awesome.
For that recording on Zoom.
Okay. That's cool. And I guess, is there another scenario you have for us?
Any questions on that scenario specifically, or before I don't? Not yet.
People are excited in the comments about the Zoom. Yeah, and let's see. Don says Facebook closed captions only work sporadically. Yeah, I think for everybody.
That's why
I usually get to the end of the video, 20 minutes in, fixed everything, and then it doesn't save. So that's been frustrating for me for sure.
This will actually solve that problem right here. This second scenario I'm going to talk about right now will help you with this.
Okay.
So that's just a perfect segue to this. So the next scenario is, let's forget about Zoom now. Let's say, hey, I'm annoyed by Facebook's transcription. It's not reliable. I can't rely on it. It works sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't work. It's really a pain to edit on Facebook, the captions when it generates it. How can I improve this? So this is what I've kind of put together my thoughts. So you can have, we're going to auto transcribe now we've moved away from Zoom. Now we're talking about Facebook Lives or any Facebook video on your page, or group actually. So we're going to automatically transcribe that. And the goal here is this: we're going to take a Facebook video and send it to Dropbox. Sorry, not to go the flow here. We're going to send a video to Dropbox. Otter has another integration with Dropbox. I'll show you how that works, which says, hey, if you put any file in a specific Dropbox folder, Otter is going to just transcribe it right away.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Which is cool. So you can have Repurpose, send it to that specific folder. You can make a new workflow for that. Take your Facebook video, send it there. Otter will automatically pick it up, auto transcribe it. And then you have a couple options here. Same kind of deal. You got to export SRT file or text. But to answer Don's question, if you export the SRT, then what I would do is I would upload that to Facebook. So Facebook has the option for you to upload your own captions file. You don't have to use their automatic transcription. So you can use Otter to automatically transcribe, fix it up, export it, and then you upload it to Facebook. And the reason why I would do that is because when you repurpose, to do all the other repurpose integrations that we do, converting to vertical to square, you can just do this process once for for each Facebook video. And then the captions file will be on Facebook, and we'll use that for every single snippet that you've done, every single clip, every single destination you're publishing to. So you don't have to keep uploading SRTs. You can have your other workflows on auto. Once you get the captions up here, these can all go on auto publish because the proper captions will be on Facebook.
Awesome. I didn't realize that Otter and Dropbox had an integration. So that's a really cool, sneaky way to get those transcriptions that are challenging in some places. So to be able to send it automatically to Otter, that's awesome. When you set up that integration, do you do that inside Dropbox?
I'll show you right now. I'll go in the account settings again, apps, and then you'll see Dropbox. Right. So down here with Zoom, you can add Dropbox, and there's an option here that says automatically put the after I'm done transcribing, do I want the results to go back to the same Dropbox folder? You can turn that on or off, depending. And I'll explain why, in what cases you want it on and what cases you want off in a second. But this is where you go ahead and click connect. It always puts it in a folder called apps/Otter. So you can't choose, but you can choose how you want it to export. But I'm going to talk about that in the third slide. So the same Dropbox integration, as soon as I put a file in Dropbox, whether it's audio or video, doesn't matter. So you can have Repurpose send videos from Facebook. You can have Repurpose send your podcasts to Dropbox for you, and then they can get transcribed as well. They will automatically show up here in my conversations inside your Otter. So you don't need to upload to Otter. You can drop in an audio file. You can have Repurpose drop in an audio file from your podcast feed or a video file from Facebook, or yourself can drop in a file into Dropbox, and the transcription will kick off on Otter automatically.
Ooh, so good.
Yeah, then you're going to go in, pick it, export it, just like we did before. SRT, if you want to put that back on Facebook and to do the burnt-in captioning, or if you want it for your blog, you can export it as text. Cool. I'm geeking out here. I'm happy to quick answer any questions, or I can jump to the last kind of idea that I had for a little more automation for Repurpose. But any questions related to transcription? So this approach I talked about here, the goal here is to just bypass the annoying Facebook captioning. Yeah. That's one goal. Or if you just want your podcast transcribed, like let's say you have a podcast and you want to get it transcribed, you can have a Repurpose. Just instead of you uploading the audio to your podcast host and then uploading the audio to Dropbox, you can have Repurpose automatically send every episode to Dropbox. You'll have the transcription kicked off, and then you or someone on your team can log into Otter, make the corrections, and export the text, the full transcription out to put it on your blog, your website, your show notes page, wherever you want to put it. So there's kind of two different ways to use this automation.
I love that we have some choices handy. Thanks for walking us through those two things, because now people have an option of which one is going to work the best for us.
Yeah. This is not meant this is meant to help you kind of think about, depending on how your flow, what you're trying to achieve, just to give you some ideas on how you can do a little more automation, especially with transcriptions, because we don't have a built-in transcription inside of Repurpose. I mean, and the reason why we don't have it is because we're not experts in this area, right? Like, we rather integrate with services that can do it really well, instead of us trying to develop it, and the accuracy won't be there, etc. So I'm always looking for integrations. The last one, which, it's very similar to what I talked about, but you can, okay, let's say you have a video and you want to do a burnt in captions on that video. So and now I'm realizing maybe people may not necessarily understand what I mean by burnt in captions. So let me just zoom into this picture here. So when I say burnt in captions, I mean, you would take a video that started off like this. We could convert it into a horizontal or square, and then we have a nice title on top. But then these are actual live captions, not live. These are actual captions of what you're saying that's scrolling across the page, that's coming across the page. So people can watch your videos with captioning on automatically. They don't have to. Doesn't matter what platform they're on. The captions are part of the video. So when I say burnt in captions, this is what I'm referring to. Kind of burnt in, caked in to your video, whether it's vertical, whether it's square, it's up to you. Or even in the original format, we can burn in captions as well. So the last option, really quick, is, let's say you have a video and then you want to you have a video like this and you want to create a video like this. So you can put on Instagram, or you want to put on Twitter with the captions burnt in. So one way to do it is take the video, put it in Dropbox, in that specific folder that Otter is looking for. Otter will start transcribing, and then you can have Otter automatically put the SRT file back to your Dropbox. It won't be perfect, of course. You have to fix it up. Or you can just leave it on manual. And when you export it, where's my Otter account? When you export it back. I got too many windows open. I lost my Otter. Oh, here. So when you export it back to Dropbox. And what happens here is Repurpose is smart. It says, okay, if I make a workflow that says this, say Dropbox to Twitter, or I'm just gonna say Dropbox to LinkedIn. Let's say it doesn't really matter. If you start with the Dropbox folder, and let's see if this is gonna work here. I didn't demo this. I didn't see if I have the right file set up. Okay, let's see. So this is my Otter folder, the one where the transcriptions are, the SRT files are generated from Otter. If I choose that, let's see here. And then I can send this to, say, we said LinkedIn, right? It doesn't really matter where I send it to. Oh no, that's not working. Let's just set that to, Dropbox for now. What I'm trying to show you is, if you have a video file and you have an SRT file with the same name, you'll see this icon. Repurpose says, oh, this video has captions. Then I hit publish, it'll automatically take those captions that Otter generated and burn them into the video. So you don't have to, you can leave this on auto and have things go automatically. So let me say that again. So you put a video in Dropbox folder, Otter will generate the SRT file and put it back in the same folder. Then Repurpose will automatically detect that there's a captions file and give you the option to use the captions from that same folder and burn it into the video if you want to.
So we have to just make sure that we have if you want it to go automatically, we can set it to auto. Or if we want to go fix them up before that goes back to the Dropbox folder, we just need to put it on manual. Is that correct?
Yeah, actually, you can leave. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you would leave
Okay.
you would leave your workflows on manual, but you don't have to come in and upload each SRT file. You don't have to upload your captions file. You can just say, hey, grab the captions file. It's in my
In the
Dropbox
folder.
folder.
Okay.
So the idea here is when you export it, you can have it send it back to the same Dropbox folder for you. Yeah, these
So
are
good.
ideas. I don't mean to confuse people. I mean, some people might be like, this is too complicated. You don't need to do any of this. I was just kind of doing a brainstorm, just kind of think, how can I help people who really want to use transcriptions to the max, whether they're doing it for their blog, whether they're doing it for these caption videos. How do we help automate with transcription services that are better than what Facebook can do right now? Because I've been hearing a
Yeah.
lot about Facebook's Facebook's transcription stuff is just
Yeah.
not working.
Stuff.
Like it's just
Right.
people are frustrated. So
Right.
stop
And
sharing.
then,
I'll stop talking and I'll start listening now.
yeah, so Dawn said she likes how she can get the text for the blog for other purposes. Yeah, Otter is great at that. I use one of Hanny's plugins on my WordPress website. And so I actually put in the full transcript there so people can expand that. It kind of stays hidden. And then I'll make some show notes from that same transcription. So I use that text file for so many different things. And it's definitely a cool tool.
Awesome.
And then Dawn says she's not confused at all. She's all good.
Awesome.
Wally, can you clarify your question? He wants to know, is that the podcast, is it after the podcast is posted?
Yes. So if you want I think I understand the question, but
Okay.
I could be wrong. But if you if you publish a podcast, let's say whatever podcast platform you're on, let's say Libsyn, you publish it, it's live to the world. Then Repurpose can take that, push it to Otter, push it to Dropbox. Otter can pick it up, transcribe it for you, and then you can do everything else, put it on your show notes page and do whatever you want after. So everything happens after the fact. If you want Repurpose to send that to get transcribed automatically. But of course, if you want to do it beforehand, then you can just take that MP3 file, put it into the Dropbox folder, and then Otter will kick in. So it depends on how your flow is, really. If you want your transcriptions before your episode goes live, then you can upload it to Dropbox, and then the process will happen. If you don't care, if it takes a few days later, then your transcriptions will be ready on your blog. You can just publish, let Repurpose send it to Otter. Otter will do its thing. Then you can grab it, a few hours later or whenever your team is ready and put that on your blog or do whatever you want with it. So totally up to you. Totally up to your comfort level. I'm not very picky about, I don't have to launch a video to have everything perfect. I launch it, get it out there, people watch it, and then I can improve the description, improve title, add the captioning, a little bit later on. It's okay. It's really okay. To me personally, I'm all about just getting the content out.
I agree.
Not worry about, if I can automate something and it's delayed a little bit, I'd rather have that than to do things, upload here and then upload there, for example.
Yeah, done is better than perfect for sure. So get your content out there and then go in on the back end and add these automations and these connections and transcriptions. And if you want to do it and wait, you can do that too. So again, I love that we have some choices here baked in depending on how you like to put out your content, but we're definitely advocating get your content out there and then go tweak it later.
Yeah. So any other questions, thoughts?
I don't see any other questions from live.
I went pretty fast. I think it was a lot more deeper than I wanted to go, but I'm kind of glad I got it out there because I think sometimes if I get thoughts out of my head, it helps people to get the wheels turning and say, hey, you know what? If I add this one step, it's going to save me all this hassle. So yeah, so the link again, if you're interested, I'm going to see if I can get this down here. Yeah. So repurpose.io/otter. If you want to try it out, you get a month free of their premium service. If you want to export the SRT, I think you need to be on premium. Even their free plan doesn't
Yeah,
let
we
you do that.
used to be on the free plan, but as things have changed and shifted, you can pretty much just get the text file. And I tried to convert it myself to an SRT, and it did not work. So definitely will need the paid plan to get that SRT file.
Yeah. Awesome. Wow, it's only been 40 minutes. Yeah, I'm happy to take any questions, thoughts about Zoom integration, about anybody is doing some cool things with transcriptions. I'd love to hear about them and just share them with everybody else, or just questions about repurpose in general.
Awesome.
Like,
Drop your
and
questions. Let us know.
yeah, just drop
And
it
I
in the
guess the other
comments.
thought, as we're talking about workflows, the other thought that occurred to me was if you do something from Zoom or Facebook and you send it over to YouTube, their transcription tool actually is a little bit better. And I believe you can still get the SRT file as an export from YouTube. So that's another option, I think, if you wanted to bypass Otter. But because there's so many good integrations with Dropbox and Zoom, I don't know that you want to pass that step, because that happening in the background while you're able to do other content, I think is key to helping us be more productive.
Yeah, I mean, everybody's workflows are different. Like everyone's the way they create content, what tools they use to create, um, it changes depending on what you're trying to do. Like, we're going live. There was a question earlier, what tool are we using now? We're using a tool called StreamYard to go live. We're not using Zoom. But if you're using Zoom, you can even go live on Zoom. There's so many things you can do. There's so many ways you can tackle this problem. I mean, my advice would be, if you're doing something now, don't spend too much time changing it. Just see how you can automate some of it. And then, if you haven't started, then maybe you can think about, okay, what's the best way? Do I want to start with live content, or do I want to start with audio content, or do I just want to do recorded videos and then get them all to different platforms? So, I mean, don't let the tech be in the way. Just because we added Zoom integration, doesn't mean that you have to go change how you do things and add Zoom, right? So that's not the point. We're just trying to make this so versatile. So however you want to create content, we're trying to make this repurposing step easier for you.
Yeah, and the tools that Hanny's created and all these integrations, are meant to support you, not to add more work to what you're already doing. So just go through it, analyze them. If it's right for you, maybe do what Hanny did and just type out a workflow or get a whiteboard and write it out. So you see it kind of visually, you have a strategy for yourself, and then go implement. Because I know for me personally, if I try to go into software and think about all the possibilities, and I get really overwhelmed. But if you, exactly. So definitely put it on paper, whether it's old school pen and paper or in a Google Doc, write it out and then go make it happen, because that's going to save a ton of time for you on the back end as well.
Yeah, that's a great point. The software is there to support you, not to force you to do it a certain way. Like I said, just because we have Zoom integration doesn't mean you need to use it. If you're not using Zoom, or if you're doing Zoom and you're going live on Facebook, then we can just repurpose from Facebook. You don't need to repurpose your Zooms directly. There's much flexibility, but if you write down, what are you doing now? And then you can see, all right, I only need to add the Facebook integration, or I only need the Zoom integration. I don't need to do anything else. So write it down. That's a great tip. Write it down. And before you go into the software to start making workflows, because they're fun to make, but you almost need to just have a plan.
Right.
I'm going to go live with Zoom. I'm going to record an interview with Zoom. And then I want it to be an audio podcast, and I want it to be on YouTube, and I want to make clips on Twitter, 5 clips per episode. Write all this down, and then log into the software and say, okay, what do I need to make this happen? And you can download this that workflow diagram. You can grab it from repurpose.io/workflows. It's there for free. It's a PDF, just to give you ideas. You don't have to follow it exactly, but it gives you kind of some ideas what you can do with the software. And then you can say, hey, you know what? I don't really like this. I'd rather go from here to here, or I'd rather go from here to a Facebook group, or everyone has different goals. So don't be tied to this workflow diagram. It's just meant to give you some ideas and get you inspired to connect things up and automate more.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really meant to say, choose, like you said, one place. Choose one place you want to go live or where you want to initiate the whole process from. And then you can go back and make a strategy for yourself so that you have the steps leading up to that so that it works for you and it hits your goals and it's going to do the things you want it to do. And the software will support you in that process.
Yeah, absolutely. Boom, boom. Don's got a great point. I'm going to bring this up. This covers all our face, but it's got to be over the text.
Yeah.
I'm going to touch on the second half. Facebook Live tools. I saw this kind of by accident. I started playing around with it. It's pretty wild. Actually, it's pretty cool. So what I think Don's referring to is if you go to facebook.com/live/producer, you can now go live right from your browser, right on Facebook. So that's facebook.com/live/producer. And it's pretty cool. I had it open because I was going to do a video on it. I can show you kind of what it looks like since I already have it open. I wasn't planning on doing this, but that's a great question.
That's a really good question.
Where is...
In all your tabs, right?
I have too many tabs. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, share my screen. Okay. Oh, no, not here, not here, not here, here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Oh, and that. All right, so facebook.com/live/producer. Basically, it's a really cool tool. It looks overwhelming, but don't get caught up in all this stuff. Basically, you can say go live now or schedule a live. You want it to be on your profile, page, or group. So you choose that from here. You give it a title. I highly recommend giving it a title. Even if it's optional here, give it a title. It will help you repurpose a lot easier later. So just take that note. Always give your videos a title. Give it a description. And then you just need to flip this button on. Like, just say use camera. Your camera fires up. Make sure you're choosing the right microphone if you have multiple microphones, etc. And that's it. And once you're done, you say go live. Now, it doesn't have a lot of the fancy stuff. As far as when I play with it, it didn't have a lot of fancy stuff. Like, I don't know if you could even bring on people, like guests on your show. Like we're doing today, we have 2 of us on the show. I don't think you can do that. But it does have some cool stuff up here, like polls and questions and stuff. Play around with it. I think if you're going live on your own, just single, just kind of talking head, you going out and doing stuff. I believe you can even do screen sharing as well. Yeah, you can do a screen share as well. So if you're doing just you solo, I would, before you buy StreamYard or sign up for a BeLive account, just play around with this. Get comfortable with the idea of going live. Right? Forget about the tool. Just get comfortable with the idea of going live. You can do it for free to pages, groups, or even your personal profile, it looks like, to your main timeline. So yeah, so that's facebook.com/live/producer. It's really cool. Really simple. I say it's cool, but it's simple to use.
And when I tested this last time, Hanny, I will say that I couldn't screen share in the middle. I had to start initiating screen share first, and I wasn't able to toggle back and forth between face to camera and screen sharing. So maybe it has changed since I tested it a couple of weeks ago. But the other thing, for those of you who do use Zoom, you can use Facebook and Zoom together and stream your Zoom right in onto your Facebook page. You have to just share your tab that is Zoom, and you can actually just use Zoom to run your whole live.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know. Yeah. That's a cool tip.
It's a pretty cool. I had someone show it to me quite a while ago, and it's a pretty slick tool. It takes some time because you have to kind of push a lot of buttons and figure out what you're sharing, but you can stream Zoom into Facebook.
Oh, nice. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can use Zoom. So you're saying you use Zoom to stream to Facebook. I think even YouTube, I saw the option as well. You can even go live on YouTube as well, I think.
Yeah. Zoom. So yeah, basically you would initiate it in Facebook. So you would go live like you were just doing. And then when you would click screen share, and then you'll have Zoom open in another tab. You'll actually choose to share Zoom as your screen share, and then you would go live and do your whole live from Zoom, and then come back at the end in Facebook and stop the live.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
But I think you can, even within Zoom itself, you have the option to go live without this Facebook Studio, without this producer thing. I think within Zoom as well, you can connect Zoom to your Facebook. There's so many
But
options. Yeah, it's
so many
awesome. That's
options.
cool.
Yes,
But I
lots
do want to
more.
mention one more thing is I think I haven't tested it myself. A question came up from one of our users not too long ago, I think yesterday. In the past, I mean, your phone is still an option to go live on for Facebook for those who are out and about or just don't want to bother doing things on a laptop. But I think in the past, it was always like this. You had to do it vertical, which is makes it a lot harder to repurpose. It's just not as nice to repurpose vertical videos. If you start with landscape or horizontal video, you can do a lot more with the repurposing, especially with repurpose. But what I learned the other day is I haven't tried it, but I would if you do it from your phone. I think if you flip your phone and go live, it actually will go live horizontal now. In the past, it wouldn't let you. It would even if you flip your phone, you were still being a vertical video. I believe you can go live in vertical
Yeah.
from your phone now, which is really cool because it just opens up more opportunities to do more videos when you're out and about and still have the ability to repurpose them and not being stuck in the vertical format, which only works well on certain platforms.
Yeah, and we tested that a couple weekends ago. We had some friends use our backyard to get married in, and we streamed their wedding
Ooh.
into a Facebook group, so their family who couldn't be here
Oh
got to
wow.
watch it. And we were allowed to go horizontal, so it definitely does work.
Nice, 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 nice. That's awesome. I did not know. I mean, I read about it. I'm like, I tried it. It looked like it's gonna let me go horizontal, and I didn't actually go live on it. But
Yeah, it does
that's
for sure.
wild, wild. All right, awesome. I love this discussion.
So many good things coming up. I love it.
Yeah, it's just like we learn from each other, right? Like some people are get stuck. Oh, I can't go live. I need to go live on my phone, but it's always horizontal. How do I repurpose that? And
Yeah,
then we discovered that you can actually go, or you can go horizontal and
for
not
sure.
vertical, only horizontal. So yeah, so many things you can do. And again, so many things doesn't mean you need to do all the things. Just
Right.
a reminder, just
It's one thing.
pick one thing, do it one way. If you're not comfortable on camera, don't worry about it. Just record audio content. If you're
Yeah.
comfortable on video but not comfortable going live, record a video. That's fine. If you're comfortable going live, just go live. And I
Yeah.
like to go live because it's even me, like I'm very shy person, but I'm very picky when I record a video. I record it and I'm like, no, record,
Right.
delete, no, delete. I spend like an hour saying the same thing over and over. When I
Yeah.
go live, you say it once and you're done.
Yeah.
However it comes out, it's live. You try your best, you go out, and the point is you have content out there as opposed to content on your hard drive doing nothing.
For sure. And I do want to say for those of you who want to use Otter, who are going to check out this month trial, or if you already use it like I do, and if you are doing audio only, you can actually get the app on your phone. You can record your whole audio into the Otter app. It will transcribe in real time. So at the end of your recording, you'll have your audio and you'll have your transcripts ready to go right in real time.
Wow, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
knew the app was cool, but that's even really cool.
it's
You can
very cool.
record while you do it, so your transcriptions is ready.
Yeah, so pop your earbuds in, get a little microphone just to clear out some of the background noise that often happens. Yeah, and you can record your podcast directly into Otter. I have several students who have done it that way, and they love it because it's so fast. They can do it from wherever they are. They have a transcript for their blog. They have, they can take those quotes and put them out there as quotes and create all sorts of things. So from the Otter app, they're doing their whole production of their podcast.
That's wild. Yeah, Otter is becoming really popular now. I mean, it's always been popular. It's always been great. A lot of users, which means the AI that makes the transcriptions is awesome. So that's really the key to any of these services, transcription service. The more users they have, the better the accuracy gets, and they have a lot of users. So
Yeah.
definitely recommend. There's a ton out there, right? You can experiment with them, but Otter is for like, I don't know. I think it's under $100 for the whole year. You get, I think it was like 5,000. Don't quote me, but I think it was like 5,000
5,000 or 6,000 minutes, right? It's like
a month. It's
yeah.
insane. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a no-brainer from the pricing perspective and the accuracy, and now some of the integrations that with Dropbox and directly with Zoom.
Yeah. And Don wants to know, let's see, when I sign up for Repurpose, will I have access to the lives done prior to sign up?
Everything. all your lives you've ever done on that page will show up in that list, and you can pick the ones that you want to repurpose, and you can pick all of them, some of them, or you can say, starting from January 2020 onwards. You can, there's so much options you can do. So yeah, everything is there available to you from your Facebook pages, your groups, and your personal profile as well, your personal timeline.
So good. And Dawn says she's so picky and shy. Dawn, take it from two introverts. We get that feeling a lot. But live video somehow is a way to connect. It just feels different than being in a recording studio by yourself. Even if no one's showing up on the live itself, it just feels better to just get it done and know that you can check that off your to-do list. You don't have to keep recording and re-recording and re-recording. So when I used to do audio-only podcasts in Audacity, I would get crazy with the editing, and it would take so long to produce a single podcast that now, pretty much I'll go live or pre-record it and run it as live. That works so much better because it's just done, and I can move on, and then I can use Repurpose to help me create all the different ways to share it. So definitely, get started. And if you want to connect, reach out to us. We're here to support you and cheer you on every step of the way, because if you can start with one piece of content, even if you're the shyest person in the world, maybe it's written, maybe it's audio, maybe it's video, maybe it's a screen share video with your voice on it. There's lots of ways to do any of these things. So definitely reach out. Let us know if you need help or if you want some feedback. The group inside of Repurpose is awesome. Like, the biggest cheerleaders are in there. Everyone is cheering each other on, sharing best practices, sharing ideas. And really the whole idea for this series of videos every month was this idea of, I wonder how everyone else is doing this, or I found this cool way. Has anyone else tried this out? And it's just this collaborative environment. So definitely come join us inside the group too.
Yeah. And one tip, if you're shy, like I think we're all shy. I don't know why, but I feel like people who create content are very shy. I know it sounds like counterintuitive, but almost everybody's shy. Me personally, I find it helps if you have somebody with you. Like the fact that Yang is here and we're doing this together, it's not the shyness factor, but when you see another face on the screen with you, it feels a little more natural than just you talking to the screen. So I mean, if you're afraid to do it yourself, or you need that extra motivation, just get somebody on to go on with you, and then kind of do a show together. You feel like more like a natural conversation.
For sure.
You feel more natural. You're more comfortable than talking to yourself, talking
super
to
conversational. Right. And even if you have somebody who's watching you live, you reach out in Messenger 5 minutes before, say, hey, I'm going live. Can you hop on? It's going to be 10 minutes just so I know someone's there. Even that part makes a huge difference when you go live, because there's someone there. There's somebody who's absorbing your energy, and there's an exchange of energy back and forth. So whatever you need to do, pop a picture of somebody next to your camera and look at that, talk to them. There's lots of fun little tricks to go live. But I guess the biggest hurdle is just to do it. And it took me a long time, like years. Like it took me a really long time to go live. But now it's definitely one of my favorite ways. And I think for Hanny too, when we're here, we have so much fun, like to interact with all of you and just to be here together and collaborate. That feels so much easier than just being by yourself and going live all the time.
Yeah. And just like the other day, I went live in the group. I was going to record a video and just upload it to the group. I wanted to share something that we've been up to. And then I was just like, I tried to record it. I was just like, no, I didn't like the way that I just fired up the camera. I didn't even look at the comments. I just went live for like 2 minutes. I just wanted to share something. Then I shut it down. But it felt good because it got done. Then I went back and like the comments were like, people were commenting like crazy. And it's just, the thing I like about going live, the two things: you go live, you're done. Like you prep in advance, you get your thoughts together, and then you just go. But then two, at least for now, the past couple of years and probably the next few years, these platforms love it when you go live. Facebook, LinkedIn is getting into live streaming. Periscope, Twitter had live streaming for a while. They give you more attention, at least initially. And if nobody watches, don't feel discouraged, or you feel a few number of views. You're just by going live more and more often, you're going to just get the algorithms trained to you putting out content. So it's not about how many people show up live. It's about how many views you get over like the week, because you're still going to be up in the feed, especially the first couple of days. And then of course, all the repurposing that you do after.
Right. So good. Yeah, Don,
Uh,
I love all your comments here. I'm glad you're doing more lives, you're having more success with it. Yeah. The more you do it, the easier it gets, the more fun it gets. I know in the beginning, when you put the words fun and video together, in my mind, they did not connect at all. Now, however, they do, and it just becomes kind of like a game. And if you can be consistent with it and your audience knows, okay, Wednesday at a certain time you're going to go live, them knowing you're going to be there and them holding you accountable also helps with you having the courage to turn that camera on, because sometimes I know pushing that go live button can be the scariest thing in the world.
yeah, I still get nervous, especially when I'm gonna give it, especially when I can give a demo. I was like, all right, is everything working? Then I'm like, you know what? It's live. If something breaks or it doesn't work, it's real. Like this, it's almost like reality TV, and everyone understands that this is live TV, that live, stream. It's not Hollywood. It's not, not everything has to be perfect. I have a, bulletin board behind me. I do a little bit of cleanup just to make sure the frame looks decent, but I'm not too worried about, okay, if something goes wrong, we'll just kind of explain, okay, this is what we're doing. We're still giving value, hopefully giving value to everyone's watching. People are still watching, so I'm hoping there's still value here. And you just roll with it. You get better as you go along. There's actually, I think Don brought up a good point. I'm going to touch very quickly on this multi-streaming. I think this is something that a lot of people talk about. It's like, do I want to stream live to multiple platforms? And, how does Repurpose tie into that? My perspective on this is this: if you have the ability, whether it's a tool like StreamYard, which I think lets you go live on 3 or 4 platforms. I don't use that. I only go live on Facebook. Like we're doing this on my Facebook page, but I think you can, with this tool, StreamYard, you can go live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and if you have permission, you can do it on LinkedIn, all at the same time, so that everybody sees it. I think they even have a way to pull in all the comments. I don't recommend it, especially if you're just starting. If you're comfortable and maybe you have somebody on helping you out and managing all the comments, because you're going to get comments from all different platforms, and you're going to be very distracted trying to keep up with all the questions. Do it as an advanced user. But if you're just starting or you're just in early stages, there's value in it, but I don't see it's worth it because it's overwhelming to keep track of what's going on. And then repurposing your Facebook Live from Facebook, it will still allow you to be on the multiple platforms. So you're not missing out on those platforms. But if you do go live on those platforms, do it, like pick one platform, get comfortable with it, and then, add more as you go along. And it doesn't hurt to go live on multiple platforms and then repurpose to those platforms as well. There's nothing wrong with that. So if you're doing it, it's awesome. If you're starting, I wouldn't even touch it. I've been streaming for, over a year now, and I still don't have the urge to go and multi-stream. I just feel more comfortable doing it in one place. All the comments are in one place. I can schedule it here, and most of my audience is here on our Facebook page. So don't need to complicate it. That's what Repurpose will take, that one stream that on Facebook and put it on the multiple platforms afterwards. So you're not missing out. But don't confuse yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself, I should say.
Yeah, totally agree. Because if you're going to go on multiple platforms, you're also dividing your audience, which then becomes really weird too, because on each platform, people talk a little bit differently. They react a little bit differently. So it's hard to have all those comments, because in the screen, it tells you, okay, over on LinkedIn, someone said this, and over on Twitter. And the comments are enough just on Facebook. To have all those extra layers, like you said, is definitely tough. But then just to divide your audience, it's better to invite them all to one place, invite them to the same party, and then repurpose your stuff, and then sprinkle out some goodies on the other platforms.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I would do. Even if you're advanced user, that's what I would do. Yeah. That's what I'm doing now. So keep it simple. And
Don said, yes, less complicated.
Yes.
He says he loves this. Awesome. Woo-woo.
Less complicated is good. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. I'm just going to scroll through. Any other question? If you're watching the replay, of course, just drop in the question. We'll definitely answer it in the comments. But if you have a question now, or whether it's related to Zoom, whether it's related to transcriptions, or you want to share any ideas that you've been doing, how you're using Repurpose, or how you're just creating content in general, it's open. The floor is open. So, let us know. We can discuss any topics related to Repurpose or just content in general. There were a couple of questions earlier before the live stream went on, so I want to make sure I touch on those.
Them, right? About the Twitter accounts.
Yeah, there was an issue. Samantha having an issue with Twitter accounts. She was asking if I can have multiple Twitter accounts. If you have the content marketer plan, you should be allowed to add multiple Twitter accounts. So you and 5 podcasts. So you can have one podcast go to Twitter account A, and then the second podcast go to Twitter account B. So that should be no problem. Just got to make sure you've connected your 3 accounts, like 3 different accounts, and you make sure you connected the right account. Because when you click connect, if you're already logged into the browser to your Twitter account, sometimes it might just connect a different Twitter account or a different YouTube account. It's very funny how these systems know that you're already logged in, so they might connect you to the wrong channel. So I gave some tips there about opening a new private browser and reconnecting each Twitter separately, just to make sure you've really connected the right Twitter accounts. But yeah, there's no problem going from one podcast to one Twitter account, a second podcast to a separate Twitter account, if you have the content marketer plan.
Amazing. And I'm just scrolling the comments again to make sure we got everyone. And again, like Hanny said, if you're watching the replay and you have questions, definitely pop them below. We'll come back and answer those for you, because there were a couple people who said they weren't able to join live. And Hanny, will you send out an email reminder to point everyone back to this live so they can watch the replay?
That's just not a bad idea. I haven't been doing that, but that's not a bad idea. Yeah, people ask me if the replay will be here on Facebook. Also will be on our support page, on our video training site, which is repurpose.io/support. I think we have a section for all the live streams. It will make its way there, thanks to our WordPress plugin.
Awesome. Cool. Is there anything else you want to leave everyone with, Hanny, as we wrap up the 12th session of this interview series?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm excited for Zoom. I'm waiting. We're communicating back and forth. We'll get that going. Well, we're done. We're just waiting for them to give us the go ahead and put us in their marketplace, which means we're live, so you guys can use it. It should be any week now, hopefully less than that. But as soon as it's ready, you'll get an email from us. In the group, we'll get an email saying that it's live, and we'd love your feedback. We're just scratched the surface here with the Zoom integration. There's so much more we can do, and when users tell us how they want to repurpose or how they use Zoom, it might going to help us think about how to automate even more.
So good. Well, thank you everyone who joined us live today for this 12th installment of the deep dive and sneak peeks here at repurpose.io. I'm Yang Pratt. I've been hanging out here with Hanny Mora. Thank you all, and we look forward to seeing you next month and inside the Facebook group. Cheers, everyone.
All right, bye, everyone.